and 1455502, and Cal BRE 01869452 and 1866775.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. With a very focused show, we only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. But before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest and repeater on Ron Siegel Radio. Greg Raths is in the house. Welcome.
Good to be here.
Glad.
Always good to be back on your show. Thank you, Ron.
Glad to have you with us. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me. First, there are no operators standing by. I am it.
Broadcasting.
I guess my guys are a little quiet today.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
Even my numbskulls are quiet today. I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan, a plan to save you money. I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Well, being that I am never opinionated, I just go with the flow. I sit on the fence all the time. I guess nobody will mind that today we're celebrating National Buffalo Soldiers Day. We'll see what happens on that one. We are also celebrating, although we cannot go and celebrate in person unless you break the rules like they do in New York, National Water Park Day. How'd you like that party they had? Yes, I know it was a drive-in at the Hamptons. Somehow they forgot the cars, though, at the drive-in event. Did you see that one? Chaired by the chairman of the board or CEO of Goldman Sachs. Watch that one. Hey, one that we could probably all celebrate today. There is no dissent on this one. I don't think anybody can find something, although someone might try and break this one up too. National Milk Chocolate Day. Yeah, that having beaten anorexia, I will go with National Milk Chocolate Day. We can stick with that one. And how do you go wrong with that, right? I mean, it's universal. You can't say, well, maybe you could. Let's take a look at the markets this morning. Dow Jones Industrial Average down 102 points as we speak. Obviously, the markets are closed for those of our friends on our newest affiliate, AM 1490, the KMET, that is the ABC News and Talk affiliate right here in Southern California. The S&P 500 down 5. The NASDAQ generally goes up every day, but today it's down 54. Oil down 43 cents a barrel, and the U.S. 10-year Treasury, if you are a senior citizen living on fixed income, well, that's only getting you a little under 0.6% interest on your 10-year Treasury. Not good for the seniors, but if you're buying a house, you're probably not too upset because that is a leading indicator. It is not the only indicator, but it is a leading indicator of what's going on in the housing market and what the costs are going to be for getting your home refinanced. We'll talk about that in a little bit because the Federal Reserve is back at it again. They're spending more money. Last week, they had gone down to $3.5 billion a day. Even my wife can't spend that much, but the Federal Reserve, $3.5 billion a day that they were buying in mortgage-backed securities. This week, they're going to go to $4.5 billion a day. Think of a day. Oh, isn't that amazing? $4.5 billion a day.
Wow.
Unbelievable. But that is the Federal Reserve U.S. going out there.
Is this a small government that this country is founded on, small central government?
Yeah, small, and they don't want to do a whole lot. They just want to,
defend the country, right?
That's their goal, right? Defend the country, make sure people are safe. I didn't say
common currency, which have no trouble printing.
Right. Wasn't there something, though, Greg, you probably know this better because you've been sworn in many times, something about the idea of protect the country from all enemies, domestic or foreign and domestic.
Foreign and domestic, yes.
Right?
Yes.
Well, doesn't that count in Portland and in Chicago?
It does.
You would think that they would have more.
Seattle, yes. Minneapolis, yes.
All those areas, you would think that would have, they'd be doing that. And I hear I love listening to some of our liberal friends that are telling us that the president has no rights to go in and protect the citizens. Yet the Black Lives Matter, they must have forgot somewhere in the range of 1864. Did President Lincoln not go in to protect the citizens or they weren't even citizens at the time, people that were in the United States? I think that President Lincoln was one of the first people that said, you know something, we need to take care of correct the wrongs that are going on. Fascinates me how that could be forgotten already. That didn't take very long. Well, I guess 150 years, but Black Lives Matter. Yeah. I'm like, don't get me involved in that one. Maybe I shouldn't say this, but I will, because I believe all lives matter. Black, white, green, yellow. I don't care. Obviously, I can't say that I'm colorblind, because you can see the differences, right? But the issue is it's irrelevant, right? I mean, maybe we should go and I love listening to lunatics like LeBron James, right? Wonder where other country he could go to and have a high school education, no formal college education, and earn the money that he earns. Is there anywhere else that he could go and do that? I just question that. You think about that. I think that we ought to have affirmative action in athletics. Can you imagine the NBA with affirmative action? They've only had, I think the Utah Jazz is probably the only team that's ever had a number of white people on the team. I just throw that in there. I digress many, many times trying to figure some of these things out. I look at the markets every day for you. What's going on in the markets? I'm going to tell you right now, if you are a stock investor, I will not give you financial advice, but I will tell you the S&P 500 looks scary to me. Why does it look scary? Well, because if you take out just a handful of stocks, the S&P 500 is actually down, but you put those handful of stocks in, and the S&P 500 is up significantly.
Like Amazon?
Like Amazon, Tesla. Now, this week, it's going to be fascinating to watch what goes on with all these stocks. And I'll tell you why I'm so fascinated by it, is we're going to have on Thursday, Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Google, all report earnings the same day. And I don't like risk, right? Well, I do have enough risk. I host a conservative radio show. That's more than enough risk in my world. But think about in California, no less, right? Think about the concept, though, with those stocks that are pricing so high. They've been high flyers. Can you tell me a reason? And I'm going to look it up right now. I've got my handy little device in front of me. Give me a reason why a stock would go from 400 in April to 1,500, rough numbers, don't quote me on the exact, but they're close, 1,500 in July. That's what Tesla's done. Now, I know Elon Musk has done a lot of great things, and he's innovative. He's probably the Steve Jobs of the current era, but a stock going from 4 and change to 1,500, and Tesla, what do they do that makes it that they're worth more than Ford, GM, Fiat, Chrysler, all these car companies, all of them combined, right? So I'm saying to you right now, be careful. Do I know what direction that stock is going to go? Not a clue. I can tell you this: I don't have any of my money in it. I don't have any of my neighbors' money in it. Right? The idea here is, if the stock market goes down, it takes a lot more to get your money back. So put your money into something that's a little safer, a little more secure. I can promise you this, that, where was Tesla 10, 15 years ago? Where was Pfizer 10 or 15 years ago? Right? Think about these things that are going to be around long after you are. Do I know if Kroger's a good buy? No. But everybody has to eat. Right? Think about some of these things that are a little bit more, if a stock can go up, what is that, 300% in that shorter period of time, the one thing you know for certain, it can go down 300% in a very short period of time. Now, if you're sitting there watching the market all day long, maybe that you can survive that. I'm just going to submit to you, be very, very careful. And I can tell you this, just watching what's going on in the world right now, should we get a Biden administration, it would not shock me to see the stock market go down to 6,000 or 7,000, maybe 8,000. It will tank. Why? Everything that Joe Biden wants is geared for the stock market to crash, right? He wants to get rid of our oil independence. He wants to get rid of fracking. He wants to increase taxes. He wants to increase the taxes on corporations. President Trump just got these corporations to bring jobs back to America that Joe Biden and President Obama said would never come back. Yet they're coming back. Do you want to go back to that same thing? I'm going to give you a whole host of items in the days and weeks to come. I'm going to also share some great information. I heard a tremendous analysis last night. It was about a 40-minute analysis, all fact, from my private news service. They gave it to us in about, like I say, 40 minutes. If you want it, I'll tell you exactly how to get this information. Great data. I'll share it with you. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. When we come back, what are the mortgage market doing? What is happening in California politics right here locally in Orange County, Southern California? We're going to talk to the candidate himself, Greg Raths, Congressional candidate, 45th District. Get out and vote, but get educated first. Top 10 questions about FICO Resilience Index, all that and more. You can reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter @Ron Siegel. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, shame on you. But the replay is available. Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Did you know that banks and credit bureaus are rewarded financially if you have bad credit? And the worse your credit score is, the more money they can make off of you? How does that make you feel, knowing that banks are getting rich off of your hard-earned money? How does it make you feel, knowing that if a bank or a credit bureau makes a mistake on your credit report, they benefit from it and it hurts you? The Fair Credit Report Act of 1971 requires banks and credit bureaus to report only accurate information, and nearly 100% of all credit reports are inaccurate. If you're sick and tired of being broke and tired of being robbed by the banks, you owe it to yourself and to your family to call Rondi. Rondi is a FICO certified credit professional and has helped thousands of people just like you get out of debt and establish great credit. Rondi's number is 855-608-1990. Again, that's 855-608-1990. Or visit creditsanitizer.com. Again, that website is creditsanitizer.com.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694552.
Are you a veteran, police officer, firefighter, doctor, nurse, or teacher? If so, you qualify as one of Ron Siegel's VIP heroes, and we have rewards up to $5,000 or $10,000 when you buy, sell, or refinance a home with one of the Ron Siegel radio partners. As one of the heroes, real estate agents will rebate part of their commission. Lending partners will give a credit at closing. The title company has special published rates, and many other service providers have incentives too. All you need to do is call Ron Siegel Radio at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit VIPHeroProgram.com. Just think about what you will do with all the rebates and incentives from the partners of Ron Siegel Radio. Just call us at 800-306-1990 so we can show you our appreciation for your service.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Gold Star Mortgage. When you're ready for that next mortgage, Gold Star has the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, of course, we watch the markets as part of our Mortgage Minute for you every single day. The Dow Jones Industrial Average now down 113 points, NASDAQ down 52, S&P down 2.86, the U.S. 10-year Treasury. The interest rate is down 2 basis points, not a whole lot. Mortgage-backed securities up 17 basis points, meaning interest is down. Why is all of that happening? Well, that's why you listen to Ron Siegel Radio. All that other stuff comes available on Google.com. But the Fed is beginning their 2-day meeting today. We're going to hear from them tomorrow around 11 o'clock California time. Not going to be raising rates till at least 2022, but it will be interesting to hear their thoughts and forward guidance. They're buying more than they've been with this week's $6.3 billion scheduled purchase today. This could help bonds, which are already having a nice morning, to move even higher. I'm going to share with you here, if I can get my computer screens to work. Actually, I've already got it up there. My team does good stuff. So let's take a look and see. The Case-Shiller Home Price Index came out. We're watching that one for you. That's where we're getting some of the data as far as what the excitement is in the bonds and the excitement in the mortgage arena. They're considered the gold standard for appreciation. Showed that nationally there was a 4.5% annual gain in May, which was down from 4.6 in April. 20-city index decreased from 3.9 in April to 3.7. Still very strong appreciation figures, especially with all the adversity in the housing market. Part of the reason for the strong gains is a lack of supply. The last existing home sales report showed inventory down 18%. There are regional price gains in Phoenix, Seattle, Tampa continue to be the strongest. Phoenix posted a 9% year-over-year increase. I wonder if that's because people are leaving California to go to Phoenix. I just throw that in there.
My hometown, Phoenix.
Your hometown, Phoenix. All right. Yeah, they're growing over there. Well, I can't say it being that you're a candidate. They're leaving America to go to to go to Phoenix. They're going back to America. They're leaving Calizuela. It's craziness here, but that's the Mortgage Minute again, brought to you by our friends at Gold Star Mortgage. When you're ready for that next mortgage, Gold Star has the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. We are very fortunate. Greg Raths has taken some time to come in and share with us. He is running for the 45th Congressional District of California. It's in California, but for the United States Congress.
Yes, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you. And if you do leave California, make sure you take your license plate off as you cross into another state, because they don't like us coming to Texas or Idaho or wherever. So everything's going good. Running for the 45th Congressional District, won the primary on March 3rd. There are 6 of us Republicans in the primary. I prevailed, and now we're off to take on our sitting Congresswoman Katie Porter, who in May, she voted on maybe you can answer this. You're a financial guy. She voted on a $3 trillion package with the Corona issue. Where does that $3 trillion come from?
I think it's from David Copperfield.
Is that where it is?
Right, it's all magic, smoke and mirrors.
They don't even sell bonds anymore. They just print the money. Right?
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Is that going to hurt inflation ever? Is this?
Well, we see that already. Gold prices are way up.
Yeah, gold went to 2,000 already.
Yeah.
No, I'm a strict fiscal conservative. When I get to Washington, we need to get our budget under control. I sit on the city council right now, the city of Mission Viejo. I was mayor last year, and we had a budget surplus. Have you heard of that?
No, you don't hear about that anywhere.
The city having a surplus of $4 million, which is really good for our city. We have a $60 million budget. Year before, when I was pro tem, we had a $2 million surplus. So now, when there's a crisis, we have a reserve fund of over $20 million, which with COVID, and we're losing tax revenue with all small business closed down. So it's when I get to Washington, that's what I want to bring is some type of fiscal conservatism back to the U.S. House of Representatives and restraints.
So that means in order to have any hope of that, Greg, it seems to me like we need to hold on to the Republicans need to hold on to the Senate, maybe get a little bit more of a majority so they don't have Chuck Schumer out there giving all kinds of garbage information.
Chucky,
crying Chuck.
Ryan Chuck and Crazy Nancy.
Oh, and get the House. We've got to take that House back.
Yeah, there's I think 16 seats now we need to win. My seat, the 45th. There's 3 in Orange County that we're really working hard. The 45th, 39th, which is Young Kim is running against Cisneros, and we're trying to get Dana Roebucker's seat back with Michelle Steele, who's running against Ruda. And then down further south, that Darrell Iss's old seat, the 49th, I believe, Brian Marriott is running to get Levin kicked out. So we're working hard. The way to win the House of Representatives is through Orange County, and 45th has always been Republican. There's 10 cities in the 45th. They're all run by Republican mayors and city councils. Both assembly members are Republicans. Both state senators, Morlock and Pat Bates, are both Republicans. So Katie Porter is a fish out of water in the 45th.
So you have to. I don't understand this question, Greg. Maybe you can help me with this.
I can help you.
So the Anaheim Hills area of the 45th elects overwhelmingly a Republican mayor.
Yes.
And they switch sides and vote for a Democrat for Congress.
Well, that's not true. That's actually Anaheim Hills voted for the Republican.
Did they? Okay.
Yes, where we lost it in 2018 was in mostly Irvine and in Laguna Woods. In the primary we just had on March 3rd, the 6 of us Republicans got 110,000 votes. Katie Porter got 113. So we chisel it down. She beat Mimi Walters by 13 or 12,000 votes. We chiseled it down to 12, and now we got to get over the hump on November 3rd. So
get out and vote.
Yeah. So Irvine is the battleground, and Laguna Woods so that's where we're going to really work hard to get the votes. But so Anaheim Hills did vote overwhelmingly Republican.
Stayed Republican. Yeah. Okay. So let me ask this other question though, because I'm a conservative. I think most of our audience understands that. I get enough mail from people that hate me, so I get it. Your thoughts? I mean, $3 trillion, where that money was going to for the pot houses and all of that, just doesn't make any sense to me. Is there a ground where you think it makes sense for some sort of government stimulus or government aid or safety net at this time?
The only place I can see where you can help out is with small business, because they're really getting hammered. And I feel bad for small business. I'm a member of our Chamber of Commerce in Mission Viejo. Why can you go to Walmart and buy a dress or a pair of trousers, but you can't go to a small boutique? Because Gavin Newsom has shut everything down. And he actually has shut down my campaign headquarters because of COVID. So as a Republican candidate, my campaign headquarters is shut down. So we adapt. I'm a Marine. I spent 30 years active duty in the Marine Corps. So we're working on my garage, and we're going to make it happen. He can't shut me down. But to help small business would be one avenue. But big business are doing fine. We don't need to help them and bail them out. In fact, a friend of mine who has a business, PPP, he got $1.6 million to help his business. He sent it back. Have you heard that? He sent the money back to the government saying, no, I don't want this money. Use it for something else. But when I began, I said $3 trillion. I mean, the old days you would sell bonds, you would borrow the money from somebody, but now they just print it. And that's going to really affect inflation here in the near future.
What are your thoughts on this $600 that the Democrats want additional money for $600 a week in unemployment?
Well, you make more money on unemployment than you do to work. And
so why go to work?
A lot of these small businesses are trying to get their employees to come back, especially restaurants, the waitresses, and those that work in the at the bar area. And they can't get them back because they're making more money on unemployment. And they said, well, if you don't come back, we'll let you know. But they said, well, I don't want to come back because of COVID. So they have an excuse not to work. So I'm not for that $600 extra. Let the states handle unemployment. That's the way it was put together. The states, get the federal government out of our business. And that's all I can keep saying. Get the federal government out of our business. And at the beginning of the show, the federal government has one important thing, is to maintain national security, protect our borders, protect us from foreigners that might want to attack our country, not just coming across the border, but I'm saying they're going to go into our computers and steal our intellectual data, which is happening in China. But that's the federal government's job, and also maintain national currency and regulate interstate commerce. That's the way the federal government was put together by our founding fathers. It's supposed to be a very small central government. We're a republic. Let the states handle all that. Let the states handle the unemployment and the other issues.
I like your thought, Greg, except for one thing.
What's that?
We're in Venezuela. I don't know. The feds might be able to do it better than Gavin Newsom. But I want to talk to you when we come back. We're going to chat with the candidate again for the 45th Congressional District. What about schools? Should our kids be going back to school, or should we be mom and dad teacher? We're going to talk to Greg Raths about that. When we come back, you're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. We will also chat a little bit about guidance and support are key when buying your first home. All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter @Ron Siegel. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Thanks, Ron.
Siegel Lending Team offers you buying power. Let's say you can afford a monthly mortgage payment, including principal and interest, of around $1,900. With today's rate on a 30-year fixed mortgage of 3.75%, APR 3.85%, that payment could support a $416,000 mortgage. But if you wait and rates tick up to around 6.5%, which is roughly the average home mortgage rate over the past 30 years, that same $1,900 mortgage payment, including principal and interest, may only be able to support a $314,000 mortgage. That's over $100,000 worth of home you're missing out on by waiting. That's buying power. All you need to do to get started is reach out to the Siegel Lending Team at 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Payment example excludes taxes and insurance. Call us for full details, 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 or SiegelLendingTeam.com. Equal housing lender, licensed under NMLS number 217037.
Are you purchasing or own a luxury home? If you're like so many others, your home is your largest asset and the mortgage is your largest debt. The Siegel Lending Team has some amazing financing opportunities right now. Jumbo loans up to $2 million, 30-year rates below 4%, 15-year rates near 3.5%, and if you can believe it, 7-year interest-only hybrids in low 3s. The Siegel Lending Team has all the options for your jumbo or second home loan requirements. Take advantage of them while you can. To learn more about all the other financing products available from the Siegel Lending Team, call 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Again, call 1-800-306-1990. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender.
Homeowners that are 62 and older are about to find out a great way to live a better retirement. It's called a reverse mortgage, and SLT can help you learn more. Call the Siegel Lending Team at 800-306-1990 right now to receive your free booklet with no obligation. It answers questions like how a reverse mortgage works, how much you qualify for, the ways to receive your money, and more. When you call the experts at Siegel Lending Team today, you'll learn the benefits of a government-insured reverse mortgage, how it will eliminate your monthly mortgage payments, and give you tax-free cash from the equity in your home. Here's the best part. You still own your home. Now is the best time to take control of your retirement. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 to get your free brochure. Call today or visit our website at SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com, or simply call 800-306-1990.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at, well, it's about the area trusted real estate professionals. Who else would it be? Text SLT Home Digest to 79564. Find your dream home before someone else does. SLT Home Digest. This morning, chat a little bit about guidance and support. They're key when buying your first home. In June, the number of first-time home buyers accounted for 35% of existing homes sold, a trend that's been building steadily throughout the year. According to the National Association of Realtors, NAR, the share of first-time buyers increased in March through June, right into the heart of the pandemic period and the surge in unemployment, and is now trending higher than the 29% to 32% average in the past years since 2012. Got the graph right there showing you what's going on. If you're watching us, RonSiegelRadio.tv or any of our socials, you've got that information right there in front of you. If you're not watching us on one of those, go to the channel, go to RonSiegelRadio.tv, and you'll find it. NAR continues to say the major factor is arguably low mortgage rates. As of the weekend of July 16th, the 30-year fixed mortgage dropped to 2.98%. With rates as low as that, locked in under 30-year mortgage, the typical mortgage payment estimated at, again, national number, not California, $1,036, has fallen to the median rent of $1,045. For potential home buyers who are thinking of purchasing a home anyway before the pandemic outbreak, and who are likely to remain employed, the low mortgage rate may be the clincher. Clearly, historically, low mortgage rates are encouraging too many to buy. With the average mortgage payment now estimated at a lower monthly cost than renting, great time for first-time home buyers to enter the market. According to the Q2 2020 Housing Trends Report from the National Association of Realtors, 84% of Gen Zs plan to buy a home are first-timers, compared to 68% of millennials, 52% of Gen Zs, and 21% of boomers. Think about that one. Looking at results by region shows that over 60% of prospective buyers in the Northeast and South are buying a home for the first time. The share is above 55% in the Midwest and West. There are, however, challenges for first-time buyers. A recent survey conducted by NeighborWorks America also notes that understanding the home buying process may be the most significant barrier for many hopeful homeowners. Here's the issue, and it's something I share with you every single morning on Ron Siegel Radio. Do not try to do these things on your own, right? You don't go to the online services. They're not there to give you guidance. They're there to make a quick and easy process, right? And I'm not saying anything bad about them. I think Walmart's a great company. But sometimes you just want to go to Nordstrom, right? That's the whole difference. So there is a time and place for everything. You need guidance when you're going to spend in California. Think about this. Orange County, about $800,000 median home price. So if you're going to spend that much money, I suggest, just my personal opinion, get guidance. Great loan professionals, great real estate professionals, estate planning, CPA, all of the above. That's the Mortgage Minute, or I'm sorry, the Real-Time Real Estate segment brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Getting them all wrong today because I'm so anxious just to get through the report so we can get back and talk to Greg Raths some more, get some of his ideas on what's going on in this crazy world of ours.
Hey, Ron.
Yes, sir.
And stay on the same subject. I get calls almost every day. I could get you a mortgage for 2.25. Is that a bunch of bull? Is that true?
No, it's true.
It is true.
Yeah. So, but you have to understand when you're talking about what a mortgage rate is, you can get those numbers, but it may, even the number that comes out from Freddie Mac every week has some set level of points involved in it.
That's what it is. They add points.
They put on their points. And you know something, if you're going to be in your house an extended period, if you're in that forever home, it goes back to the guidance. Strategy beats rate every time. So if you're going to be there 10 years, then the strategy would be, you know, something, pay those points. The break even is going to make sense for you.
Okay.
If you're a first time home buyer, just getting that new 1-bedroom or 2-bedroom condo, you haven't started your family, don't pay those points because it's not going to work out in the long run for you. The payment is going to be better for you.
Got it.
So
Okay.
that's why I come up with the idea strategy, or I've said this over and over, strategy beats rate every time. Because you can end up losing a lot of money by not having the right strategy.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Yep. So I want to get back to a big issue for me, for many people. I guess it's more because I'm concerned about our youth, is schools. I mean, because our kids are getting way behind because they're not going to school. Mom and dad are not qualified. I mean, if you think mom and dad are qualified to be a teacher, then why do we send teachers to get educated?
Exactly.
So what are your thoughts about a solution there, Greg?
Well, I come from a family of educators. My wife taught for 40 years, mostly elementary schools, but she did finish at UCI. She taught teachers to be teachers. My twin daughters are 37, and they both teach in Irvine Unified School District. And so I know what's going on. They're chewing my ear every day on what's going on in our schools. First of all, schools should be local. Local school districts should handle when they go back to school, how they go back to school. It should not be a federal government issue. It should not be a state issue, because what does Gavin Newsom know about a school in Mission Viejo or a school in some county where there's no COVID? So let the local school districts handle how they're going to get their kids back to school. But it's so hard for my daughters who have children of their own, because now they have to have a computer to teach school. If they're going to do it via the computer, then they have to have computers for their kids, because they got to go to school at the same time. So it's a mess right now. And I believe if you're in a safe community, let the kids go back to school, but let the parents decide. I want the parents to be involved with it, with the PTA and with the school districts too. So if you look at the data for COVID, and I'm not a big expert on all the numbers, but it looks like if you're 16 or younger, your chances, if you do get COVID, is 99.99% you recover. It's like getting the flu. So my thought is we need to get our kids educated, and we got to come up with a solution to get them back into the schools.
And you've got a very, very unique perspective, because you're a local elected official in Mission Viejo.
Councilman, yes.
So you're in council that dealing with right on the front lines and running for something that's saying, hey, we as at the federal level are not educated enough locally.
Exactly. I would want to abolish the Department of Education. I don't think at the federal level should be involved with education at all. Let the local school district handle it. The states can oversee it, or the counties can oversee, make sure the curriculum's correct and they're not pushing anything too crazy. But to get the federal government out of education, and because as it dwindles down, all this testing, the last 2 months of the school year, all they're doing is testing at the federal level, the county level, the state level. And my daughters and some of these other teachers, they get to the point where you have to teach the test, because they want to look good on, they want their kids to look good. So instead of getting all this extra stuff, when I grew up, you had art and you had all this music and these various different subjects. Now there's so much dependence on reading, writing, arithmetic, and things like that.
And so we need the reading, writing, and arithmetic, but I was just having a conversation with a friend of mine the other day, and I said, I don't even know what end of a screwdriver to use. But in high school, I did have to go to wood shop.
Yes.
So, back then I knew how to use a screwdriver. I had to go to auto shop. We had home economics, so I could learn how to cook an egg.
Right.
And I say this with all love in the world. My oldest son, as a senior in high school, had never learned how to write a check.
Good.
right? And that was going to a private school, so it's not like it was. I'm not bashing one private or public. I'm just saying that we have to get back to teaching the kids what they really need to know in life.
And what's an interesting statistic in my field of work right now in politics, if you're age 30 and less, only 12% of the people voted. If you're 30 years or younger, between 30 and 18, only 12% voted. So we need to get more into our government, what elected officials do, why it's so important to go to the polls. So as politicians, where are you going to go to get votes? Obviously, the 30 and older. So, but I have a lot of people on my campaign, millennials, that are really working hard to get the younger voters out to vote. And you're right. You know, I've seen some children go to their parents and go, "Dad, fill out my ballot. I don't know anything about these people at all." Instead of going to the computer, which they're so good at, and learning about each of the candidates, there's just no interest in it.
Well, I'm gonna get on my soapbox, Greg, because
get on the box.
Well, here's my take on that, because we got to go to a break, but I'm gonna get it in 30 seconds, maybe 45.
Okay.
There are thousands, tens of thousands of people like yourself who went and fought for our country so that we would have the right to vote and to be a free society. If, as a free society, we cannot at least take the time to get educated and get our fannies out of bed or off the couch and go and vote, shame on us. Right? I just say that because, I mean, I know that you're a retired Marine. You think you said 40 years, 30 years?
I did 30 years, retired colonel
retired
in the Marine Corps.
So you've seen a lot of things that many of us don't ever want to see.
Right.
And the whole idea here is we can look at a computer and get ourselves educated to know, do you want the Socialist Party? Do you want the Marxist Party? Do you want the Democrat Party, which is pretty much gone now? Or do you want the Republican Party, the candidates? Find out. You may want to cross over on some of them and say, you know something, I think this candidate is better, and why? And I don't want to tap my own horn, but I did force my kids to watch the debates with me.
Good.
And to figure out who their candidate was without me. I mean, my oldest son actually one time came back and said, "Dad, I want Ron Paul." And I was shocked because, I mean, that's a little bit more libertarian than I am. But I was thrilled that he was able to articulate an argument as to why he wanted Ron Paul to be the candidate at that time. And I was thrilled for it.
Well, when I was walking during the primary, I knocked on the door, a young lady, I said, "Who are you voting for president?" And we got in a conversation. She's Bernie Sanders. I go, "Well, why?" She goes, "I want to feel the burn." She knew nothing else about Bernie, but she wanted to feel the burn. I said, "Okay, let's talk." Actually, I got her to vote for me, but 98 days is election day, so it's coming close. Ballots all get mailed out this year. 68 days they'll be mailed out on October 5th. So we're down to the wire. And Greg Raths for Congress, I'd be so proud to represent you in Washington. And I'd like you, when I come back from Washington, tell me what's going on back here. So we'll have a good relationship back and forth.
Awesome. More with Greg Raths when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. As I do frequently when I get talking too much, we're going to get rid of the Your Credit Matters segment today so we can talk more with Greg. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Connect with us. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter @Ron Siegel. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Thanks, Ron.
Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Most businesses struggle to get the online reviews they need to get a competitive edge over their competition. Rex is a brand new technology that uses text messages to direct happy clients to your online review sites, Zillow, Google, Facebook, and Yelp, and unhappy clients to a private survey, so businesses can win more customers. Try Rex today by going to www.meetrex.com.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed rate loan below 4.25% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $295,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,400 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Or 1-800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
Do you have a goal of mortgage-free home ownership? What if your home was valued at $500,000? Are you aware that a free and clear home could be costing you $2,500 every month, $30,000 per year? The mortgage planners at the Siegel Lending Team would like to show you how you can own your home, generate tax-free income, and accumulate family wealth. You simply need to call the Ron Siegel team at 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990. By sending the team a copy of your most recent mortgage statement, the team will send you a no-obligation real estate plan. You be the judge if this is right for your family. Again, all you have to do is send the team a copy of your mortgage statement by email to reap@ronsiegelradio.com or call today. Ron Siegel, 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990.
Rate subject to change and without notice. Licensed by the California DOC and BRE NMLS 217037 and 145502 and Cal BRE 01869452 and 1866775.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Your Credit Matters segment today being brought to you by CreditSanitizer.com. You have a credit report, it is wrong. What are you doing about it? Credit Sanitizer, they've got the solutions for you. Just get over and give them a call and talk to them, get these solutions, get your credit scores up. So when you're ready to buy a house, car, furniture, you're getting the best possible interest rates, the rates that you qualify for. We're chatting this morning. Greg Raths is in the house. We're chatting with him about his candidacy for the 45th District, the United States Congress. Greg, you made a comment in passing that I want to chat a little bit about. And, you know, so it's interesting to me. When we watch the protests going on around the country, I don't see a whole heck of a lot of people with as much gray hair as you or lack of hair as me. It's all young people.
Yes.
Right? But you made a comment earlier that the young people, they'll get out there and protest, but they won't go out and vote.
Yes.
That to me just baffles me. If you want change in the greatest country on earth, why not get out there and get educated and vote? What was the statistic you said? Under 30 years old, you just don't.
12% vote.
12% for under 30 years old.
Right.
That just baffles me. And then they wonder, why is it that the rules that are set, the laws that are made, really don't favor young people?
Well, instead of doing the protesting, like you say, and getting violent, like you see in Portland and we saw in Seattle and Minneapolis, so there's a proper way of doing it. And get yourself a young candidate. Start maybe at the city council level or at the county level and get your candidate out there. And instead of just wasting all this time throwing rocks and bricks and
destroying small
businesses and tearing down businesses, do it the American way. And that our founders put together and run for political office. Now, a lot of people don't like AOC, but
I was just thinking about that.
That's what she did.
Right.
You know, and she's putting out her new Green Deal and all her stuff. I think she's going to have trouble getting a lot of it through or any of it through, but at least she's out there. So I got to give her credit for that.
100%. I admire her for doing things the American way.
Yes, that's the American way. get a bunch of people behind you, work on a campaign. That's what I did when I ran for city council in Mission Viejo. There's 8 of us running for 3 seats back in 2014. And I just wanted some change in our city. I didn't like the way some things were moving, and I ran for city council and I won. I actually ran for Congress in 2014. Mimi Walters, she ended up winning. And I thought she would never lose the 45th district because it's a very strong Republican stronghold here in Orange County, but we lost in 2018. And so at my age, I'm 66, I said, I'm going to do it one more time. I'm going to try to get the seat back. I'm working really hard. Can I mention my website?
Absolutely, please do.
It's gregraths.com. It's GREGRATHS.com. You can learn about me. If you want to work on my campaign, you can become a volunteer by filling out a form. If you want to donate, every little bit helps. We're getting very close to raising $1 million. We have a budget to win this about $1.2 million, so we're getting very close to that. And like I said, we're down to 98 days to Election Day, and it's a very critical election, and especially at the presidential level. And I wasn't going to bring up the Trumpster or the Biden, but that's going to be a brutal battle all the way through November. But at our level, at the congressional level, House of Representatives, we need 16, I believe 17 seats to maintain the majority or get the majority back. And unlike the Republican majority from 2016 to 2018 with Paul Ryan, I believe they really did a lot of, they didn't really help the president get some of his programs through. But I think this Congress, if we can get the Congress back, hold the Senate, we'll get a lot done.
Being that you brought it up, Greg.
Oh God, here we go.
Could you imagine what the last 3 years would have been like if the president had just a little bit of help from Congress?
Yeah,
just a little.
Right. It's so sad. I know the Attorney General is on TV talking about some of the issues that happened during the campaign when President Trump was spied upon by the FBI and the National Security Agency, and that would never ever been exposed if Hillary Clinton would have won. I mean, there's a lot of corruption in there. And then one thing I don't like, the House voted to impeach the president over this phone call with the Ukrainian president. That's what we have elections for. So I tell my Democratic friends, I go, if you don't like President Trump, that's why we have election on November 3rd. You don't go through this whole rigmarole of an impeachment knowing the Senate was never going to convict him.
And what happened at that point, because I bring this up every once in a while, but if you think about the optics or what was going on, that impeachment was going on the last week of January, which is about the same exact time that the virus was coming into the United States.
Yes, and that's so sad because everybody's was focusing on the impeachment, the trial. Meanwhile, this virus is coming from China. It's coming from Europe as the Chinese moved into Europe, and then it came into our United States. And look at now, 4 million Americans have this virus or have been tested positive. I bet you there's probably 8 to 10 million.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people that are like me. I don't feel I need to get tested unless I have some symptoms.
I've been tested 3 times.
Have you?
Yeah, no problem.
And I wouldn't be surprised if I had it, 3-4 months ago.
It's
just because some of the symptoms before they came out.
Yes. Yeah. You get a cough or your chest hurts when you breathe. I got the virus.
Intense chills.
Everyone's afraid to talk to each other. Your fists give fists or elbows. You go to the grocery store, everyone's got masks. If you don't have a mask, everyone's looking at you like, you must be you're that one instigator that won't wear a mask. It's gotten so political. It should not be political. A virus should not be political.
When you think about this pandemic, and I speak my mind, right? I mean, if you're listening to this broadcast and you don't know that by now, you're probably new to it. But I listen to some of the politicians, and it probably brings out the worst in people, right? Anytime after 9/11, everybody got together to fight for a common cause.
Yeah.
Shouldn't we be getting together to fight for a common cause right now?
Yes.
There's not one thing, and here, if you want to really have fun with a Democrat, this is great, because if you want to get a Democrat to really go crazy, ask them for just one thing that the president has done right. Right. If you ask me I don't agree with President Obama's politics, but I can name a dozen things that I agree with President Obama on. Right. Go to a Democrat and ask them for one thing that President Trump has done right, and they won't be able to name anything. They'll start calling him names.
I agree. And when I was a colonel in the Marine Corps, I was assigned to the White House. I was the chief of staff of the White House military office. The president was Bill Clinton. But as a military assignment, obviously being a Republican, they don't have all these Republicans work for Republican military. But he did a lot of things right. And when he did things right, I let people know. If he did things wrong, I'd quietly tell people. But you're right. My brother's a big Democrat.
So how was Monica?
We won't go into that. We won't go into that. But I was there during that whole impeachment too, so that didn't work either. I'm like, why are you guys doing this whole impeachment over a woman? But it was sad, this last impeachment, because I went through it when I worked at the White House. It's such a distraction, and I saw this distraction happening when COVID's hitting the United States, and it was really sad. But you can check me out at gregraths.com.
And for those of you watching us on any of our socials, I've got it printed, all the spelling right there on the page.
Right.
So that you can check that out. If you're watching us on the KMET AM 1490 TV feed, we've got it there for you as well. So go back and look at your screen.
And on Facebook, it's Greg Raths for Congress, and it's a really good page. Twitter, man, Twitter's brutal.
They haven't banned you yet?
It's not them. It's everyone just attacking me. These people are just tough on me.
Well, I won't cause any trouble here because I don't have an ownership stake, but Parler is the
Parler,
place to be going now if you want to.
I joined Parler, but I'm a 30-year combat decorated Marine, 3 combat operations, highly decorated Marine, served my country, 6 years on city council, serving my city. I was president of a company, 3 wonderful children, beautiful wife of 38 years, and they just attacked me like some dog that's barely getting any food.
And you know something? One of the things you just said there, Greg, and it's a pet peeve of mine. When you think about this, the people like you, regardless of whether we agree on politics or not, which most of I think we do, but just the role model of service, family, consistency, raising, we just saw some things on the news last night, the value of a male in the household.
Yes.
Right? 38 years married. That's a role model.
Yes.
What do your kids have to look at and say, something, I want to be like mom and dad?
Right.
Right. And there's some people that can't do that. What are you doing about it? Are you changing it?
No, it's my father was a World War II bomber pilot. He was my idol. I looked up to him. 8 kids in our family. My son's a Marine major, F-18 aviator himself. We have 3 generations of military in our family, military aviators.
Well, good luck to you. Appreciate you coming in. And as always, we ask, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to John and Sean who are engineering us today. And, of course, a special thanks to you. Again, gregraths.com is the website. Make it a great day. And remember my motto, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.
All right. Thank you, Ron.